Hi and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll be talking about IELTS listening. We'll be discussing firstly the structure of the IELTS listening test and then tips that will help you to score high. Firstly, a few basics. IELTS listening has 4 sections. 4 different recordings are used for the entire test. Each section carries 10 questions. In total, there are 40 questions. IELTS listening takes approximately 30 minutes to complete. Now, let's go inside the sections and explore each of them one by one. Section 1 is always a conversation between 2 speakers. This is a social context, the kind of context that you could expect to encounter once you're in a native English-speaking country. For instance, it could be between a receptionist at a hotel and a guest. Section 2 is a monologue. That means there will be only one person speaking. This too is an everyday context. For example, it could be a guide at a museum, briefing visitors to the museum about all the exhibits. Section 3 is a conversation between 2, 3, or 4 people. This is always in an academic context. That means it could be between students or between students and teachers. Section 4 is an academic lecture or talk. This is always a monologue. That means there will be only one speaker. The content of the recording will always be a lecture on an academic topic. Now, let's talk about the recordings. Recordings are played only once. Most of the speakers are either British or Australian. There are plenty of breaks between the audios. For instance, in section 1, the recording will play the portion relevant for questions 1 to 5. Before this happens, you will get some time to study the questions. After the first part of the recording, you will get some time to look at questions 6 to 10. There are many different kinds of questions in IELTS listening. Firstly, there's multiple choice. Matching questions too are very common. Completing a plan, map, or a diagram with labels is also a common question type. Completing forms, notes, tables, flowcharts, and summaries are also very common. Sentence completion questions, statements with blanks in them, are also important. Short answer questions, complete questions with just answers in 2 or 3 words are also pretty common. Now let's talk about scoring. As you know, there are 40 questions in total. Each correct answer will give you 1 raw point. The full score of IELTS listening is compatible with the full score of the overall IELTS on a scale of 0 to 9.0. Also, in increments of 0.5. There is no penalty for incorrect answers, so it's important to guess. Now let's understand how your raw scores are converted into your band score. If you get all the questions right, you will get a 9.0 in listening. This is, of course, the maximum score. Now, let's talk about how your raw scores are converted on a band score of 0 to 9.0. If you get all 40 questions right, of course, you will get the maximum score, which is a 9.0. However, if you get 38 questions right, you will get 8.5. Similarly, if you get 33 questions right, you will get a 7.5. Finally, if you get 24 questions right, you will get only a 6.0. Now, let's talk about the difference between entering answers in the paper-based IELTS and the computer-delivered IELTS. Firstly, in the paper-based IELTS, you will get a test booklet with all the questions on it. Initially, you will have to enter all your answers into the test booklet. After the test is over, you will get an extra 10 minutes to transfer your answers from the test booklet onto the answer sheet. You have to be very careful while doing so, because if you mess up the sequence of the answers or make spelling errors, your answers could be marked wrong. In the computer-delivered IELTS, You enter the IELTS directly onto the screen using your keyboard. There is no extra time given or any extra time required to transfer answers. Thanks for watching this video. For more insightful videos like this, like, share and subscribe. To get your IELTS preparation plans on track, register at studyunifees.io.